In a country which is seeing inflation where it is, and indeed a debt situation also where it is, and a debt servicing which is virtually impossible at the moment, what difference does 100 basis points make when you've already doubled the cost of borrowing there since the start of the year, Governor?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. The decision today to raise our policy rate by 100 basis points, in fact, based on the inflation, the current headline inflation, as well as to curtail inflation expectations going forward. Obviously, if you can remember, soon after I took the office in April, 8th of April, first day, we raised the interest rates, policy rates by 700 basis points. At that time, inflation was not that high, but we knew inflation was going to come up because that was already happening, the excess demand that was generating in the economy, and also depreciation of the currency as a result of floating the rupee at that point was going to have impact on the inflation on the rise for balance period of this year. So that was the first move. And then what we realized, the still inflation was rising, and it was rising more than what we expected at that point. And now what we see going forward during the next couple of months, headline inflation will be going up further, mainly as a result of the supply chain issues. As you know, there are a lot of shortages in fuel, medicine,
Governor, the rupee's really been crushed, and this is just adding to not just global commodity and supply inflation. It's made much worse by the decline of the rupee, so you've got to sort that out. Maybe 100 basis points may do a little bit, but not that much. So what do you want to do? What is your roadmap as you start off your 6-year term here? What policies will you be employing?
Yeah, I think main policy objective from the central bank is to achieve monetary stability, curtail inflation. And also to address overall macroeconomic instability that we are experiencing now. The worst crisis Sri Lanka has experiencing since the independence. So the policy package entails a lot of other policies. Not only the monetary policy is not the only game in the town in this kind of crisis situation. So we are doing our best to use the monetary policy as one instrument to achieve overall macroeconomic stability. But there are other policy gaps that need to come in because of the legacy issues. Key part of the policy package is to bring in fiscal consolidation. That, in my view, has been a little delayed than what we expected since I took the office in April. So that is where, in our discussion with the IMF, we are going to commit a strong policy package in the fiscal policy and also strong structural reforms package for state-owned enterprises. Those are the key urgent other policy packages that has to come in together with the monetary policy action that we already taken. Without those policies, our recovery process will be much delayed, will take longer time. So this is where we have urged other policy makers. Yeah.
Governor, you talk about how the IMF agreement is coming. How soon is it coming? Is August even viable? And what moves are needed in terms of monetary policy for you to secure that staff-level agreement?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we had 2 rounds of technical negotiation discussion with the IMF. One earlier in May, and then one we had in last part of June. The mission were here in person. And in fact, we have reached made a significant progress in terms of reaching towards a staff-level agreement sooner. So on the monetary policy side, we have agreed, and our package we have presented, and IMF has agreed to the package that we have presented on the monetary policy side. Also the fiscal policy and also the structural reforms to state enterprises, there has been a package that has been discussed, and IMF is now coming very close to reaching staff-level agreement for the whole policy package. There are very few areas that the mission went back to Washington. And once we consult the proposals we have made with their counterparts in the IMF, then I am expecting that staff level agreement can be reached pretty soon. Won't take too long. But the parallelly, I'll answer other question on the debt restructuring in the other process that we are going to take on to address this situation going forward.
Governor, what's the progress on debt restructuring and what's transpired in your talks with creditors?
Yeah, in fact, that process, the first requirement for that process is to reach kind of agreement with the IMF on staff level for a policy package, and also what they call the debt sustainability analysis done by the IMF to indicate what are the debt levels we need to achieve in the debt restructuring process. That has already happened. And the IMF has shared their debt sustainability analysis with our financial and legal advisors. Now that process has already begun with that input coming from the International Monetary Fund with our consultation. And now the next process, with the help of financial and legal advisors, we are working with them to assess what are the levels of debt we need to reach over a medium term, what kind of relief that we are expecting from the creditors. That process is now going on. So that we have already begun. We are our advisors and us are in the process of working out actual numbers that we would like to seek kind of relief from our creditors, especially three group of creditors, mainly the commercial creditors in terms of people who are invested in international bonds, and then the Paris Club, including Japan, is a major partner there. Yeah.
Governor, my final question. Are you seeking more money from, let's say, India? China, of course, has quite a lot of money there, which could be counted amongst your reserves, but you can't count them as your reserves in swaps agreements. And also Japan. You can go to other places rather than the IMF for help. I know that you've had a prime minister who says that your country is, in essence, bankrupt. You've gone to Vladimir Putin's government to ask for fuel credits. I mean, where do you go next? How is this going to be sorted out?
Yeah, this is in fact the immediate challenge. In addition to what I discussed with you, the overall policy package, until we go to the IMF board and get the approval to disburse IMF policy package in terms of external fund facility, for that we need to obtain financial assurances from our creditors that they are willing to give our relief. That will take some time because that negotiation has started. So then our immediate challenge is how to bridge, how to obtain bridging financing from this point to until that point, probably another 4 or 5 months period. This is the biggest challenge we are facing. So far, India has been helping a lot as a good friend, as a good neighbor. From Indian support, we have been able to manage certain, even with limited supply, to provide immediate relief to the people here who are suffering with lack of essential items. But going forward also, next couple of months, what we expect, we would expect India will continue to support during this short-term period. And also we have sought assistance, short-term bridging financing from both. China has been a good friend of Sri Lanka historically. China has been investing in Sri Lanka a lot. China has been giving loans to Sri Lanka. We expect China also will come in this difficult time, and also the other partners. And also the ADB and World Bank, I also should mention. Out of these existing loans, they are repurposing some of the money available for us to meet the short-term needs until that time we come to go to the board of the IMF.
Governor.